Hi everyone, BVGN here, and welcome to my very special Legend of Zelda video. This is a very special one indeed because as of today, on Sunday the 21st of 2016, is the 30th anniversary of the original Legend of Zelda. The game that started this immense, enormous, successful franchise Nintendo made, along with Super Mario of course, but this is all about Zelda, so we're going to talk about that. As you can probably tell from my t-shirt here, I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan, and a clear of all the stuff behind me. The books, the games, and there's Ocarina down here. This 3DS game bag I got, and amiibos of course. So to start up this video, let's go from right to the beginning, where it all started. And it all began in this glorious, beautiful gold cartridge from 1986. This beauty right here is the very first Legend of Zelda.
Yep, this 8-bit wonder right here is one of the most memorable games of all time, with this classic scene right here. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. And that's the start of the epic adventure right here, with this 8-wonder boy called Link, who is here to save a princess, to defeat the evil Ganon and save the Triforce and bring peace back to the land of Hyrule. This is where it all began, and in the year 1986, this is a very advanced game of its time, really. Especially with its battery save, where you can actually save your progress, because let's face it, this game is long as hell. Trust me on this one. When I got my first copy of this game, believe me, I didn't know how long this game was. Anyway, what's this game all about? Well, like any other Zelda game, you go around open worlds, basically get weapons, go through some dungeons, in different shapes and colours and different sizes and all that. Especially the infamous one with the swastika. Yeah, that really kind of fucked up right there. But nonetheless, it's one of those games you really need to try before you die. I mean, seriously, it's like any other Zelda game. It is very inspiring, it is so addicting that you just want to keep playing over and over and over again. Well, not constantly, obviously, because you'll be bored as fuck. But nonetheless, it's one of those games you really need to try before you can actually die. Now, what can I say about this 8-bit wonder? Well, it's like, you can tell for itself, even to this day, it still holds to the test of time, really. I mean, the puzzle solving is still quite, hard to, discover, but nonetheless, it feels rewarding when you do, and, well, the enemies, well, it's a bit hit and miss, really. Some are easy to kill, some are not, but nonetheless, it is quite a challenge, this game, and if you're a first-time buyer or player, I suggest you go for walkthroughs before you can actually, complete it. Trust me on this one. But nonetheless, this is one of those games that it truly defines the word excellence, really. Well, there's never more words to describe it because I'll try to make this video as short as possible, but nonetheless, if you really have a go, I say go for it. It is definitely worth the purchase. Nonetheless, you just want to continue on with this journey as the hero of time, defeat the evil Ganon, and claim the Triforce, and save, like I said before, save the land of Hyrule.
It's quite clear that that game was not only a success to the NES, but a success to Nintendo as well. It already set a benchmark for what a action adventure slash RPG slash puzzle type games should be like. Fun, addicting, and full of surprises, and most importantly, it has to have a grand story. It just basically proven that these kind of games can be fun. All you need is a good sense of imagination, lots of monsters, a good set of dungeons, good characters, good stories, and you're good as gold. So with that success alone, Nintendo had to really get into the heads to make this game even bigger than ever. And it's quite clear over the 30 years, it's worked. I mean, there's so many Zelda games out there, it's unbelievable. Pretty much every single system has to have a Zelda game. Every Nintendo system, NES, Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, all the Game Boys, 3DS, D/DS or whatever. But the only one system that doesn't have one is the Virtual Boy, which I'm glad it didn't, because otherwise, if you think about it, put a Zelda game into the Virtual Boy, made it look like shit. Seriously, I wouldn't even touch that. Now, talking about Zelda games that doesn't belong to Nintendo, there's always the free CDI Zelda games, which are quite rare these days, and pretty much, a collector's item. But I wouldn't consider them as proper Zelda games, in my opinion, because for one thing, then even Nintendo endorsed Philip, basically, so you can actually use the franchise and create your free games or whatever. But Nintendo really didn't think clearly that what Phillips was practically doing, and as a result, they just turned out to be shit. But enough about that. Let's get on to what is the next part of the story, which is my very first Zelda experience. Now to clarify, I did not own an NES or Super Nintendo when I was a kid. Mainly because I grew up with Sega, and I don't know, I was probably a dumbass back then. Anyway, long story short, the very first Nintendo I ever had, apart from the Game Boy obviously, that's technically my first Nintendo, the first Nintendo console was of course the Nintendo 64, right in the background, right back there. And I remember one day we went to this video rental store down the street, which also rents video games of course, and right there, in that shelf, right next to the entrance, was a bunch of Nintendo 64 games. And right there, in the bottom shelf, was my first Legend of Zelda I've ever played. It happens to be my most favorite one of them all time. The Ocarina of Time.
Oh yes, the great childhood memories is coming back to right now, playing this game for the first time, and one of the reasons why I love gaming in the first place. Ocarina of Time is definitely one of the all-time greats, not just for the Zelda series, but one of any video games in history. When the new world of 3D is coming here to stay, Nintendo had really think how to bring Zelda into the new world and basically make it even bigger and better than ever. And Ocarina of Time has certainly proved it that Nintendo have thought this through really well. The game itself is flawless in my opinion. The story, the graphics at the time, the new characters, I'll say this, did I say story? Yeah, I'll say story. And just the whole package itself is just magnificent. Every time I keep playing this game, I just get that big smile on my face. That's the whole thing. It just makes me feel so happy inside of me. Now I can explain about this game the whole entire video, but I don't want to. So maybe in the next future videos I do like reviews and I talk about the whole series in my perspective. But what can I say? Ocarina of Time is definitely one of the games you really must have in your collection. And if you don't, then seriously, go on eBay, go whatever, and get yourself a copy because you need to play for yourself to realize and feel like you are the real hero of time.
So without that Ocarina of Time, I wouldn't even knew the Legend of Zelda series wouldn't exist. I'll be one of those people who live under a rock. And I'll thank it for it. I'll thank the Lords that rental shop down the street gave me the opportunity to play one of possibly the most favourite franchise of all time. And what can I say? Ocarina of Time, enough said. That's all I say. It's a great game. You should definitely play it. Either you could play it on the GameCube, which you can get it with the Wind Waker, or you can get it separately, I believe. Or if you got a bit more modern, get it on the 3DS. Or you could go on Nintendo Direct Online, you can get download from there. It's easy as so. It's easy as that. It's everywhere, you can't escape it.
The Ocarina of Time has given me the opportunity to play some other great Zelda titles, like this one, A Link to the Past. This 16-bit Super Nintendo game is definitely must-have for your collection right here. Then we got Majora's Mask, the creepy yet satisfying sequel to Ocarina of Time, another great game you should have a go. Twilight Princess as well is a great title. You can also get it on the Wii or on the GameCube. I prefer the GameCube myself because the controls are way much better. Now, like Skyward Sword, the controls are a bit iffy, but the game itself is not too bad. I'll say give it a go before you can actually make a judgment for yourself. Linked Between Worlds is a definitely must play. It's like a Link to the Past but in 3D, and it's a completely new story, and the story itself is satisfying as hell. And we've got Link's Awakening, the first Game Boy Zelda game. It's still classic to this day. You can also get Link's Awakening DX, which is in color. Nice. Here we go, Wind Waker. You also can get in the HD for the Wii U, another great game title as well, a very successful one as well. Then we got Phantom Hourglass, which is a bit average really. The control is a bit different, but nonetheless, it's something you should have a go before you can judge yourself. Then we got Hyrule Warriors. Yes, I know it's not a Zelda game, but it's a Destiny Warriors in Zelda suit, but it's a good game nonetheless, and it's really fun to play with. But I'm not here just to talk about my experience with Zelda and my likes about it. I'm here to let everybody else have their say as well.
So I asked a few gamers to tell me their own experiences about Zelda at any point in time and what they think about the whole series. Here's what they have to say.
Hi there everybody, I'm Xander from Zelda Rocks, here to wish a happy 30th anniversary to the Legend of Zelda. As you can probably tell from my t-shirt, jigsaw puzzles, or just the name of my website and YouTube channel, I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan. So the British video game nerd has asked me to say a few words about why I love the series so much. I could literally talk for hours about why I love the Legend of Zelda. Great plot, huge areas to explore, unique characters, but I'm just going to try and make this brief, so I'll just talk about my favorite things. For one, I really love all the puzzles, especially in the dungeons, and how everything requires a bit of thought. Some of my favorite puzzle-oriented dungeons include the Great Bay Temple in Majora's Mask, where you have to manipulate the water flow through machinery and ice arrows. The Temple of Time in Twilight Princess was also really cool, because I mean, how awesome is it to bring stone statues to life and control them? I also thought the Sand Temple in Spirit Tracks was really unique. The idea of controlling sand was an interesting one, and it was executed very well. But it's not just the dungeons that have good puzzles. In the original Legend of Zelda, it was a challenge just to figure out where each of the dungeons were. And though most of them are marked on your map in a link to the past, it's just as much of a challenge to figure out how to get there. Even attacking an enemy requires a bit of strategy. You can't just run there with your sword. The enemy might have a shield, or it may look innocent like a yellow chew, but it turns out it's electrified. I've always found discovering the weaknesses of bosses to be really fun, all the way back to the original Legend of Zelda, where you had to determine that Dodongo dislikes smoke, means bomb the Triceratops. The battle against the cloud creature Smog in Oracle of Ages is actually really more of a block puzzle than a fight. My favorite thing about the series though is the music. Every game has an amazing soundtrack. Even the often criticized Zelda 2 has one of the best NES soundtracks I've ever heard. And it's not just that there's an amazing soundtrack. At least 80% of the games have a musical instrument as an item. And in games like Ocarina of Time, you can even control which notes you play to play a variety of in-game songs, or just mess around with it, which I did quite a lot. I remember how excited I was when I first found the Ocarina setting on this keyboard. I sat there for an hour until I figured out all of the Ocarina of Time songs. As a final note, I would like to say I find it really cool how The Legend of Zelda brings people together. I found that no matter what your differences are with someone, you can always start a conversation about how awesome The Legend of Zelda is. So
Sega and the Sync Searchum, and later I bought it on 64. So the reason I bought it on 64 was due to playing Mario World and Star Wing. I was going through town trying to find Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time when it came out. I found it in Woolworths. I picked it up, played it, and it just, yeah, it just I spent an awful lot of time playing that game. And one of the things I really liked is when you get past the expedition now, and you get around the corner and you see Hyrule Field, and you start to realize you're gonna go to these places. You're gonna see that volcano with the circle ring around it. You're gonna go there at some point, and that was kind of revolutionary back in the day. I mean, yeah, today it's kind of, we see that all the time, and you've got tons of open worlds to explore. But back then, that was just something. I later picked up the Game Boy Advance in university, and that allowed me to pick up a few of the other Zelda games, the Oracle Series Ages Seasons. I also picked up Link to the Past from the Game Boy Advance, which was, because I didn't have a SNES at the time, it kind of was the only way I could play the game. And yeah, it's pretty good. Just the amount of detail in it, just the amount of stuff you can do in a Zelda game is this thing, and finding the items, finding a new item and figuring out what you can do with it, and remembering places that you've been before, which you could drop a bomb here, you could find a secret passage. Well, yeah, I remember this bit here. I could use a hook shot on that. I'm also a fan of the handheld games. Minish Cap I quite liked. I quite like Minish Cap. I like the little was it Elzo or something? Here's the little cap who talked to you. I quite like side characters. I quite like the side characters after Navi. Midna was a particularly interesting character. Also had some very interesting items in it, like the little thing you stand on, which is round and you can go through things, and it's got these little grooves all around the place. This used to be my favourite game of the series was Ocarina of Time. That's still the case, but Twilight Princess is kind of sneaking up on that in the 3D realm. Link to the Past is still my favourite 2D Zelda game. I was playing Link Between Worlds was great fun. The thing I really enjoyed about Link to Worlds is you didn't have to do the dungeons in the specific order like you usually do. You could do them more or less as you choose, as long as you can get to them, as long as you had the items which you rented from your house, basically, which one of the characters had apprehended and turned into an item shop. And that kind of thing gives me hope for the future of the series, that you can is that maybe more open world, more like the original game, which I haven't played that much. We should really fix that. So here's hope in the future. 30 years of Zelda.
It's my birthday, I can cry if I want to, cry if I want. Huh? Actually, it's my birthday. It's my birthday, I can cry if I. Oh god.
Hello, it's Martin here from Martin's Games, and the British video game nerd asked me to do a video for Zelda's 30th anniversary. So basically, I've not played many Zelda games. I've played a few. I played half of Ocarina of Time. I played the first one. I did a Let's Play on my channel. If you want to go see that, he might link it somewhere. He might not. Depends how much he likes me. Please like me. Yeah, and I just want to say that the franchise is an amazing franchise. I've never got into them, like I said before, but what they do for adventure games, what they did back in the day, is great. I really should play more of them. I'll do maybe a long play, or maybe do some short Let's Plays. If you want to see them on my channel, then let me know. If you want to see some on British Game Nerd's channel, then let him know. And if you want to see anything else on our channels, then let us both know.
Hey guys, Ian and Sai here from SLI Gaming, and it's a tough one. What's our favourite Zelda games? What's yours, Sai?
My favourite Zelda game is Ocarina of Time. You know what? I always feel like I'm going to say that wrong.
I say Ocarina. I don't know what it is.
Ocarina of Time, which on the N64 I absolutely battered. I love that game so much. The whole going into the future, back to the past, and that. The whole, going around Hyrule on the horse's name, which is Epona. I did buy it on the 3DS as well, but no, I didn't really touch any of the other Zelda games because I was more of a Sega kid, and I didn't have any Nintendo until I did get the N64 when I was a bit older.
Yeah, I bought you A Link to the Past for your
birthday. You did. It is in my Game Boy collection now.
I think that will always have a special place for me, but I think the Zelda game that I have the most happy memories playing is the Wind Waker. I think like the cell shaded graphics just really pulled you into this like fascinating, gorgeous world, and it was just a pleasure going anywhere in the the whole world of the flooded Hyrule, as it turned out to be. You had the boat, and it was just different from any other Zelda game I'd played at the time, both stylistically and gameplay.
Well, honourable mention, shout out for Skyward Sword, which I have on the Wii, and I haven't completed, but I really enjoyed it when I was playing it. and it looked fantastic. But because I haven't completed it and I haven't done much for it, I'm not really going to say that's my best Zelda. But I think it deserves an honourable shout out as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just my small group of friends, so basically who loves this series. There are many other people out there, even the big YouTubers out there, who like to express their opinions about Legend of Zelda one way or another. And here's some great examples.
Like this lovable yet dumbery Emma Blackery. Well, you know, that sort of rhymes. But anyway, she is clearly a big Legend of Zelda fan, as given some of the videos as a few hints, but on one specifically, this Q&A video, which one viewer gave this specific question.
Your top 5 games of all time? It's not a question, is it? It's just ordering me about. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX. I have a problem.
Nah, you really don't have a problem. You're just a big fan like all of us. We love you for that. Then we have CK Productions 1000, which basically is a not very big YouTuber, but nonetheless, he has done some very interesting and very funny Zelda in real life videos, and he's done a Zelda movie himself, which is proof that he's a big fan of the video game series as well. You should check it out, so I'll put in a link in the description below.
Now you listen here, little fairy. You've been bugging me.
You've done it like 17 times. I'm telling you the right way to go here. Come on, Link.
I got lost.
It's this
Too
way,
many
not
times.
the other
All you
way.
say is the same.
This way. Come on,
Hey,
Link.
listen. Hey, listen. It's
Follow
annoying. It's
this
annoying.
way.
Isn't that your friend?
What?
Never met him before in my life.
And of course, we had to talk about Smosh and a legendary Legend of Zelda rap video, which I think is pretty cool.
I'll break all your pots and I best not hear your bitch. I've got the Triforce of courage, bitch, so you better listen. That's right. Call the bush, whacker in my bank account's maxed out. Got 999 rupees in my leather wallet packed out.
Yep, it's actually a pretty good song, surprisingly enough, and the music video is actually really high quality. So yeah, anybody here doesn't know about this video, again, links in the description below, you should check it out yourself. Then we have the Warp Zone. Some gamers basically can talk about some random games, but one particular, he's a big fan of Zelda, and one particular game that really caught my eye was the one that I've been talking about earlier. You may have guessed it. Yep, it's one only Ocarina of Time, and his opinions on doing this video has, well, basically proven that he loves this game so much.
I can't rob that kid of this experience. You gotta take me back. You need to hold on to this. I know you're just a kid, but that's the best game in the world. It's my childhood. You have to see it to believe it.
Thanks. 25 though. I've played it.
You stay in school. Get home safe.
And then finally we have James Rolfe, aka the Angry Video Game Nerd, which he made a video talk about the Zelda timeline and how confusing it is, but his first few sentences is basically proving he is also a Zelda fan.
I want to bring you back to The Legend of Zelda. It was the biggest, most epic game ever. It was more than a game, it was an adventure. It captured our imaginations and immersed us into the fantasy world of Hyrule. Link, Princess Zelda, the evil Ganon, and the Triforce would become beloved Nintendo icons for generations to come.
But it's not just them who create these kind of videos.
There are tons of videos out there. I've seen most of them, quite possibly. But if you want to know a bit more, just Google The Legend of Zelda. Trust me, there are loads. Yes, I might guess there may be some just videos about the games themselves are really, but trust me, if you just look through the walkthroughs and gameplays, whatever, there's some great other Zelda videos out there. You definitely need to check them out. If any YouTubers out there you know of that actually does some good Zelda videos I haven't seen yet, put in the comments below, and I will definitely watch it.
And just before I finish this video, I would like to show you some of the followers of my Twitter and my Instagram account who are clearly Legend of Zelda fans, one way or another, showing by the postings that they mentioned a few times before. I basically, they've done some videos themselves, and, just basically proving they love the franchise as well as much as I do. And I can definitely give them shout outs to all these guys, because I have been communicating with some of them, and they are great people. So, Once you post this video, go check the Twitter or Instagram accounts, and yeah, give it a good thumbs up.
So a big shout out to all the people who have featured in this video, all the YouTubers, all my group of friends who said a few words, and basically, well, pretty much everybody I know of who are big Zelda fans, from Instagram, Facebook, or whatever. Big shout out to you a lot. You guys have made this franchise so big, it's unbelievable. Without you guys, this logo here would be extinct. I was like, a big happy birthday, Legend of Zelda. It's been a great 30 years. Hopefully the next game you're going to bring, possibly the Wii U or the NX or whatever you're going to put platform you're going to put on. Hopefully that'll be just as good as any other games that are out there. But I can't wait to get my hands on the Twilight Princess HD and Hyrule Warriors Legends 3DS. And yes, I've got the both Collector's Edition pre-ordered. So let's give you some good unboxing videos. Once again, thank you for watching this video. You're all great people. I'll see you very shortly, and remember, keep on gaming.
So yeah, I just want to say a big happy birthday to The Legend of Zelda.
I would like to wish a happy 30th anniversary to The Legend of Zelda, and I hope that the next 30 years are just as awesome, if not even better.
Happy birthday, Zelda.